I spent 3 days training with certified BMW instructors. Over the course of the last few years, I've been working on my off-road riding skills. I trained with ADV Woman, Jocelyn Snow, She ADV, and it kind of feels like I've been building up to this experience. To me, it felt like the ultimate test to see if I had really absorbed my lessons or not. Hello, beautiful people. If you're new here, my name is Amanda Zitto. I'm here at the BMW Performance Center in South Carolina. I was invited here to get to experience the 2-day women's only off-road adventure rider foundations course that they host here on site. But there's a catch. Not only do I have to do this on a BMW R1250 GS that I've never ridden before, I also haven't ridden a motorcycle with a manual clutch in 2 years. Let me clarify a little bit. Many of you know I've been riding the Honda Africa Twin Adventure Sports ES DCT since 2022. DCT stands for dual clutch transmission, which means I have no clutch lever. I can still control what gear I'm in, but riding a DCT means I've adapted in other ways to do slow speed skills than you would use on a standard motorcycle. AKA, I'm a little out of practice, okay? Before we get started with my experience training though, I want to introduce you to one of my incredible instructors, Wendy.
Hi, my name is Wendy Nasons. I'm a certified instructor at the BMW US Riders Academy. We're located in Greer, South Carolina, which is just outside of Greenville. We're 10 minutes from the GSP airport, super convenient to get to. We have 137 acres, and it's kind of like Disneyland for motorcycles. It is so much fun. We have every off-road and on-road obstacle that you might come across. So I've been riding for about 15 years. I started in the city of Chicago, and I got in with a group of motorcyclists that were really passionate about continuing education, which I love. And you know, when you park your bike for a few months a year in the wintertime, it's a depreciating skill. You got to refresh it. So every spring we would take different training classes and things. So it was just natural that I came to the Performance Center. I took a women's only 1-day on-road, 1-day off-road class, and I was instantly hooked. The program director, Aaron Rankin, was teaching in that class that weekend. And so we met and started chatting, and he just invited me to come back as an instructor. I got to come on about 3 years ago. In December, it'll be 3 years, so.
All good training starts from the ground up. So we spent some time on the basics before we headed out to the practice area. My favorite part of training was actually warm-ups, kicking legs over the bikes while moving and doing that kind of stuff because it makes you feel like a gymnast.
One of the questions we get a lot about the Women's Only program is how the curriculum is different, and it's not. It's the same curriculum as the co-ed class. The only difference is in a co-ed class we would just demonstrate how to pick up your bike, and then you have a couple of days to practice. With the Women's Only program, we make that an actual exercise. So we gently lay every bike down, we teach you how to pick it up, and then we get you to a place where hopefully you can pick up your own motorcycle so that you feel more confident going out. If you're out riding, something happens, you're at the back of the pack or you're by yourself or whatever, and your bike tips over, you know you can take care of yourself. So that's really confidence inspiring for a lot of women. So we do add that in as an actual exercise.
The other element that struck me immediately about training here was the student-to-teacher ratio.
We have a minimum of 4 students per instructor ratio. So that's one of the unique things is we have smaller class sizes and we have a lot of instructors.
Which meant everyone received equal feedback all the time. So even when we were doing simple drills like braking practice, I always knew someone was watching me close enough to give me valuable feedback on every single pass, including the ones where I forgot to pull in the clutch. That clutch! Oh my God.
But the stop was great. Everything looked fantastic.
Okay, no, that would look great.
Okay.
Does that feel okay?
Yeah.
Good with that? Okay, so add in the front this time.
And clutch. Did I do it correct? Did I do it correct?
You're doing it all correct. You're getting in the body position. Everything looks great. Vision's awesome. Vibe suit's good. So we're gonna move you to Enduro Pro.
Yay!
Nice.
Can you tell I like praise?
Clearly. Well, and clearly you've taken lessons before.
We covered a lot of ground in 2 days, including a few exercises that hadn't come up in any of my other experiences training, like whoops and riding through trenches and trail stops on hills. There you go. A little more, a little more.
Trial stops on the second and third one. Make sure you use your clutch this time.
Between drills and lunch breaks, we would go on mini trail rides so we could practice around more realistic obstacles like trees. It was a nice, lower stress way to practice compared to the hyper-concentrated focus I get into when we do drills. So far, I felt really confident about my performance with all the things we were covering, and I was getting more comfortable on the big BMW. And the muscle memory from 10 plus years of riding a manual clutch came back to me after the end of the first day. It was all fun and games until we reached S-turns. I have a love-hate relationship with S-turns. Sometimes I can complete them and I feel amazing and like I can do anything, and sometimes I don't. The one thing that stays universal every time I practice this exercise, though, my thighs feel like they're on fire.
All right, so you're doing a really great job in that, but I wanted to give you a little bit of feedback. What I want you to do as we're practicing throughout the day is over-exaggerate the rotation, including your shoulders, and then let the bike lean into the turn.
There's something extremely gratifying about successfully doing multiple drills of a skill that you've had a hard time with in the past. Even if my muscles were starting to feel a little fatigue, I felt very satisfied with my growth. That was until we practiced side mounts. Previously, I had done this perfectly fine on the first go just a few months ago. I had practiced on the ranch and still found this mount fairly simple and an exhilarating trick I could perform on cue. So imagine how shaken my confidence was when this happened. Okay, here we go. But
The trick is once you start moving, just keep moving. Eyes up. Keep moving. There you go. Go, 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 go.
Yay! There you go.
I think some of the unique things that you're going to get at the Performance Center that you won't get anywhere else. One is that you get to use our motorcycle with zero financial liability. So literally you can break your motorcycle. We will not bat an eyelash. A lot of people get really nervous, like, oh, they're going to give me the evil eye or something. That doesn't happen. You know, tip overs happen. We want you to just have a worry-free experience with the motorcycle so you can really test your skills. And if you tip over and you break your motorcycle, we'll just bring you another one. It's so great.
You already know how to do it, you just gotta trust it. Forward momentum is gonna give you the stability, so don't fight it.
After a few tries, I got it, but I wasn't feeling super great anymore. Quite the opposite. I was tired, wrapped up in my negative thoughts, and we still had one more hurdle to do that I had been dreading all weekend. When I saw the gravel pit, I definitely anticipated eating it super hard. I was having flashbacks to Indian Pass in Southern California when I burnt the clutch in the Tiger. That's like a big flashback. I am not ready for this. My wrist hurts really bad. It's just really long and really deep. I am really worried that I think that I burnt my clutch. The last 100 feet or so, I had it like full on out and it was acting like it was half in. And all I could envision was burning my clutch out during that trip. The gravel pit may not look very big from your perspective, but sitting there at the foot of the pit trying to work yourself up to get across, it felt like it stretched out ahead of me a mile long. I put on a brave face, but internally I was screaming at myself. Why can't you do this? The instructors were incredibly patient while I went round after round trying to just get across the gravel pit successfully. My internal monologue was not very kind. When I finally got across successfully, I thought it was a fluke. I couldn't believe that just happened. So obviously, I did it again. And again. I felt relieved, elated, and I felt a small part of my confidence finally return.
The number one thing that I want students to take away from the Performance Center is just more confidence, more tools in their tool belt. There are a lot of really great places that you can take training. I, of course, think that the US Riders Academy is the best place because you're going to learn a lot of skills in a really safe and enriching environment. And I think the number one thing that I love seeing people walk away with is more confidence.
So, after 3 days of pushing myself, learning from incredible instructors like Wendy, and battling my own internal doubts, I can honestly say the BMW Performance Center training was exactly the test that I needed. It wasn't always pretty, and there were definitely moments when I felt like I was wrestling a bear, but that's the beauty of it, right? It's in the moments of struggle, like in the gravel pit, that you truly discover what you're capable of. This experience wasn't just about skills on a bike, it was about pushing my limits and facing my fears, and proving to myself that I can overcome challenges even when they feel a mile long. A big thank you to the BMW Performance Center for inviting me out to do this training. If you are interested, here is Wendy to describe some of what they offer here.
We offer 1 and 2 day on-road and off-road courses. We have also a women's program that we do that is 1, 2, or 3 days. We also offer MSF, so the basic rider's course. We do private instruction, and we have private tours, which is really cool. So you just fly in with your gear, you use our bikes, we handle everything else. The nice thing with our group classes also, the motorcycle is included. It's zero financial liability. So you break your bike, we fix it for you. It's really nice.
I was very intimidated by the GS, I'm not gonna lie. They're very big, they look very heavy. They are very easy to ride though. And arguably it's easier to take the course on the 1250 than any of the other bikes in the fleet. I think the curriculum is really designed around the 1250, and ironically it's easier to do the S turns on the 1250 than the other bikes. On Friday, when I did day 1 the first time, I traded with one of the girls who asked for a 310 and got to experience doing those obstacles with the 310, and it's definitely harder. Coming in, I really wanted to improve on my S turns and super tight, slow turns in a circle. It was the thing that I was most worried about, like stressed in the back of my brain, but it was also the thing that I wanted to overcome during this training, and I think I did that. I was like, that's so funny. The thing that I was most worried about is the thing that I did pretty okay. I didn't drop the bike at all, and the thing that I was super confident about mounting the bike was the thing that I dumped the most, and it's the thing that I now am super focused on fixing when I get home. It's pretty funny. I think that's just like a lesson in overconfidence and ego. If you go into it being like, oh yeah, I got this, I don't need to listen, it's fine. Humble thyself. Good morning from day 24 of riding my motorcycle across the US, except we're doing training today on BMWs. We ran into each other. So this will be my 3rd cross-country trip, technically the 5th time that I've ridden across the US.
Yeah.